then you joined Xavier's in Bombay.
Yes,
And
that's a really funny story.
Yeah.
So I have a friend. She's still a really really close friend of mine, and we were like, let's just go to Bombay and let's just go. It's only 500 rupees. What have we got to lose? And because I was coming to Bombay, I needed to tell my parents something. Why am I going to Bombay? So I said I'm going to give an entrance exam at Xavier's.
Okay.
I didn't give the exam to want to get through. I just gave the exam for fun. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think I'll do this course for a year and I'll stay in Bombay. It's such a crazy city. I want to explore something. And that's how I stayed back in Bombay and then never went back. I moved in 2005 and it's 2020. So it's been 15 years of living in Bombay now. And it's home. As a producer, the job is, actually it's a very thankless job, because your job is to constantly make everybody happy and make sure everybody's aligned with each other. But it's like in life, it's very difficult to make so many people happy or please so many people. So you keep trying to do that. You try your best. You try to keep everybody aligned, everybody together, everybody satisfied with what they're doing. And that's what your attempt is through the process of, from the time you write to the time it actually ends up coming on a platform or in the theaters. So I feel like it is equally important to have people you collaborate with, think and work exactly the way you like to work. But it never always happens, but the attempt should always be there.
I've heard so many of these newcomers say that, I've been writing since so many years, but nobody's approving my script. I can't even get to their offices, and I want to know a little more about your experience.
People who are telling you that are completely accurate. That does happen. That happened with me. That happens with a lot of my friends. It's completely true. But fortunately, the first film that I made, Bombay Talkies, it was a film. It was an anthology which hadn't happened at that point in 2013 in the country, and it was a new concept. It was an experiment of sorts. And when I went to filmmakers, I started with Anurag, and he's always very kind and open to newcomers, and he's actually a person who encourages newcomers and new talent in the industry. So he was the first person I went to, and he was actually quite excited about it, and he was like, this is good. I'll do it, but how are you going to get the other 3 filmmakers? I said, I'll try. And that's how the journey began. And I went to Dibakar, and then I went to Zoya. Then I needed to raise money, and Zoya gave me Karan's number, and I was quite sure, Karan is not going to say yes to something like that. But he did reply, and he did call back, and he came back from Thailand, and he did meet me, and he agreed to do it. So it's sounding actually very easy, the whole process, the way I told you, but it was a lot of time and a lot of setbacks that I also faced. But eventually he said,
I think a lot of conviction in you. You kept on going, and it's sounding to me
Yes.
like that you didn't stop, and you had.
No, I didn't stop. I'm very persistent. Everybody who knows me as my friend will tell you I'm a very persistent person, whether it's work or whether it's my personal life.
So, Ashi, there's been so much conversation around, to make it big, you need to know people in the industry, and you've completely proven otherwise.
I do agree with certain things, but I completely disagree with certain things. That every industry in the world has that privilege, and that is what it is. Definitely, it is easier if you've been in the industry, if you have family and friends in the industry, or in any industry for that matter. It is much easier. Like if your father has been a huge lawyer, it is much easier for you to be a lawyer. If your father has been a huge doctor, it is much easier for you to be a doctor. And similarly in the industry as well, it is easier, but it doesn't mean you're going to be as successful as your father, or you're going to be able to last the way your father did. So that's the difference. You are going to leave your business or your work to your children, or to your family, and then it's up to them whether they take it forward, they don't take it forward, they're good at it, they're not good at it. But definitely you're going to give them that privilege because you came and did something here. So yeah, the debate is not about whether the privilege is there or not, the privilege is there. But you can also just be equally fair and kind to an outsider and let them show their talent. If they are good, they will stay. If they're not good, they'll anyway leave, whether it's them or it's someone with privilege. It's as simple as that. So the only thing we can do here as people from the industry, and I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about people who are born and raised in the industry, is just be kind to people who are from the outside. That's all.
Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you said it here. That makes a lot of sense. Working with the right team is super important, especially on a creative project. So a few key takeaways, for anybody who's aspiring, how to choose your team. Did you just go with your gut and your intuition?
Like in life, it's the same as work. You attract how people the way you are, right? Like your friends will mostly be people like you. Similarly, I feel like at work as well, you are drawn towards people who are more like-minded and who will think like you, whether it's ideas, whether it's the ethics, whether it's anything that you believe in.
I want to talk to you about, how are things now? With the lockdown and with so many people have lost their jobs who used to work on sets.
It's really, I was talking to somebody the other day and I was telling them that even when work begins, and work has slowly and gradually begun, and some ad films are happening and some people are shooting their television shows and digital stuff. The people like actors and directors and DOPs have not been so affected, and it's paradoxical because they are the ones who are still more comfortable and don't really need the money. But the people who actually need the money, whether it's your sport boys and your art department and your costume department, they are the ones who are not being able to shoot because now there is a restriction of 20 people, 30 people on set. So the first people you're going to remove from your set are these people. So it's really sad because they are the ones who really need to make the money. But what do you do? I mean, it's a very unfortunate time. It's a strange time. Nobody preempted this. Yeah, it is really unfortunate, and I hope the time passes and this gets over and everybody comes out of it stronger, and that's all we can hope for right now, because everybody's doing their best, I guess.
Absolutely. Ashi, how does it feel to be a working mom now?
Feels like you never have time to just zone and chill, but at the same time it is very fulfilling, and you realize how you can multitask in a way that you never imagined you could. So I've been very lucky. My child's quite easy, and we are actually in India, I would say, the privileged lot, because we have so much support from family and friends. I think in India we have it quite easy, so nothing to complain. And also we are fortunate that we can afford help. You do have your moments of, oh my god, I'm good. Like, for example, Lust Story is released on 20th June and I had my son on 3rd of July, 10 days later. So till the last day I was delivering and working, and I remember coming home on 2nd July evening from office at 7 in the evening, and on 3rd July morning I had my child, and 40 days later I was back at work. So it is, crazy, because when you're running your own company, it's tougher. When you're actually in a job, you do get those peaceful 6 months off. Here, if I took 6 months off, like, everybody would have just tuned out of work. So it is slightly tougher when you have a smaller setup and you're doing your own thing, but no complaints.
Ashi, you've spoken 2-3 times about you have a long way to go. I want to understand your ambition a little more. What do you have in mind?
I want to be able to make movies that I'm really proud of. Like today, when you asked me about a Hindi film which really inspired me, and I was like, okay, I want movies like Rang De Basanti. They're so entertaining, but at the same time, they have a voice. They are saying so much to the youth. I remember watching Rang De Basanti in the theater and feeling so patriotic. I felt the most patriotic I have in my growing up years after I watched Rang De Basanti. So I want to make movies that leave you with an emotion like that, whether it's patriotism, whether it's love, whether it's anything. but at the same time entertain you. So which I haven't done yet in my career, and that's my goal, to be able to make movies which probably the generation can talk about and I can be proud of. And so those are the stories that I want to tell, those are the films I want to make, and hence I have a long way to go. So yeah, and I'm just going to do my best and try and stay true to what I believe in. And then I'm sure the world is evolving, people are evolving, their taste is evolving, and we'll hopefully get there.
Absolutely, that's so inspiring. Ashi, thank you for joining on this platform, and thank you for inspiring a lot of women with your voice.
Thank you, it's my pleasure, completely.